Hello, my name is Lizzie. Each week I'm bringing along a different origami fold, and that's to encourage you to take some lovely time out for yourself, for your own self-care, and to calm your mind, to just focus on folding paper. And it's a beautiful way of finding yourself, forgetting everything else, just making something very perfect and beautiful. I was asked to learn some origami by a patient, and she found it had helped her when unwell, and she wanted me to pass it on to other patients and to the staff. But I think in this time of constraint, anxiety, loneliness, boredom, we all need a little bit of help as to how to look after our mind, and I think origami is such a great way of doing this. It comes obviously from a long history as well, which is a beautiful thing, from Japan, but originally paper came from China, so everything has helped each other. It's part of society. And yeah, I hope this will give you a lovely break. So all of these films are dedicated to my colleagues who work in a hospital, UCLH, but they're absolutely for everybody during this time. Keeping safe and keeping away from others, it's such a hard thing to do, but it's about looking after each other, and that in turn obviously is helping the NHS. So let's keep showing our support and our care for each other. This week I wanted to share with you something which is just so lovely. I'm seeing this as a rainbow, but it's seen as a kind of a modular snake. So there's no glue here, it's just paper. It's a nice noise, isn't it? I have obviously used lots of little pieces of paper. They're all tucked in, yeah, no glue. I will show you how to make your own. I've obviously used a lovely spectrum of different coloured pieces of paper, which has been really fun to use. So if you happen to have different colours, you can do that. But white is still lovely. You could make a little face on the end if you wish. It also reminds me a little bit of a eel or a fish as well. It's always got these scales. You can join it so it becomes a full circle, and that's something you can do. I've sort of kept mine open because I rather like just playing with it. I also see it as a lovely rainbow, which obviously is very significant in this time as well. So I'm going to show you just from plain paper and how to make just a couple of these little modules to fit together. I've tried to find out who has invented this, but no one seems to really know. It seems to be unknown. Someone who's very knowledgeable about designers, he tried and he couldn't find, and other people have been asking too. So some amazing person has discovered this and passed it on, and it becomes part of the origami culture. So thank you to the person who discovered this. I think it's really, really fun. Hope it will bring you joy as well. I think when things get passed on, they get passed on because people love them. So only the very best things get passed on. It is a compliment. So if you grab yourself a board, I would recommend using little bits, because you could do a really big one, but I've done many pieces here. I think there might be something like 30 or so. I'm not sure how many I've done in there. But I will piece of paper. Let's get started. So I think what I will show you is I'm going to make a big square and then cut that big square into 4 squares, and then from each square make little squares. So we'll have made, if you followed that on, you'd make 16, which would start making you a decent-ish snake. I'll only show you, I think, just a small number of the modules. It's very simple, it's very lovely. Again, removing this rectangle, get you started, and then experiment. Maybe you can colour them in, maybe you could use different coloured papers. It's something you'll find yourself just doing almost without looking after a while. So it's a restful one. I was prompted, a origami friend sent me a lovely kind of circle which looks very similar to this, and I don't know whether it's the same design or not, and I love playing with it, so I think something tactile is always very calming. I'm just going to make this into 4 squares. That's it. Maybe it'd be great to show an absolutely massive snake. You could do that. There we go. Cutting in half again. That's it. Done it there. And I do live folds every Wednesday at 2 as well. I'm going to cut it into 4 again and make them small, because I think for the snake they need to be quite small little bits actually. That way you can get 16 from a piece of paper, which is pretty good. Here we go. Folding it in half. Get really little. Oh dear, not perfect there, but that's all right. Maybe I'll do 4. The thing I love about the modular is you get into doing one and then you just find yourself making more and more, and that's very relaxing. I guess it may be a little bit like knitting and things, that people like that calming, repetitive, but then it's how it links together, it gets quite exciting. So with your little square, if you fold it in half to make a rectangle, lining it up there, that's it, nice little rectangle. And maybe I need to do this on the board. As usual, I find it, oh, it really is tiny to show you. Just checking. Okay, maybe I'll bring it up in the air. Otherwise, it's like looking at a very tiny little. I can at least get a little bit closer here. So I've got it as if it's like a little tent, or a little house. I'm going to take one of these loose corners and I'm going to bring it up to that top line. Like so. There we go. And the same thing on the other side, that loose flat too. And so they should meet there. There we go. Now, so we've done one side. Oh, I can see that's slightly out. Joys of doing this into the camera. There we go. So we're going to turn to the back now. And I want you to take the top corner and fold it down. So there we go, a straight line. Again, the top corner and fold it down. So we sort of did it on one way on one side and the other way on the other side. And we're almost there. It really is that simple. So if we turn to the back, there's like a little pocket there. You see there's a little pocket, and what you can do is pop your finger in the pocket, push it down, and can you see that a different kind of shape? What can I? It's like a letter M, isn't it? Forms, getting rid of all the wrinkles, and you can then squeeze it so it flattens like that. Can you see? So that's a nice little structure. It's got little pockets there which we'll be able to use for the building. Okay. So that's one little unit. That's it. Maybe if we do it just a couple more times and then I can show you how to assemble. I suppose true Blue Peter style. Here's one I did earlier. This is probably clearer to see because it's bigger. But you've got this nice little pocket. I just think it's a lovely shape in itself. Yeah. So let's do another 2 with my little tiny ones, because you may start big and you'll find if you want to do a really long snake, you probably don't want to do them out of huge pieces of paper. So this is a good sort of size. Folding it down, that's it. And I'm taking those bottom corners, lifting it up, lining up at the top, like so, squeezing the sides, again the same thing, bottom corner there, lining it up. There we go, it's made a little V shape. Turn to the back, and now it's the sort of opposite. We're taking now the top corner and bringing it down in a straight line, she says. That's it. Through that corner, maybe I have gone a little bit small for the screen, but a perspective, get me showing it a bit bigger. That's right. And folding it down like so. And then if you turn to the back, you've got that little pocket. Put your finger into that pocket and push in, and it starts to form this little M shape. That's it, squash it down. Right, we'll do it just one more time and then we can see how they link together. So, and the idea is just to keep going really, as many as you feel like, maybe different colours of paper. They all need to be the same size, the squares. So again, your square, folding it in half to make a rectangle, like so. And you'll soon find yourself just remembering it because it's the repetition. Again, that corner, bring it up. You really wouldn't want to watch me do this 30 times or more, would you? I can definitely leave you to do that yourself. Again, that corner, bring it up, and so it lines up. That's it. Turn to the back, top corners, down in a straight line. Almost there, and then we'll see how they link together. That's it, top corner, bringing it down. There we go. And then turn to the back. There's a little pocket. Pop your finger in that pocket, and as you pop it in, it changes the shape to make that nice little M shape. Squashing it down so everything lines up nicely. Right, how to assemble. Here goes. I might, yeah. So, these little prongy bits will go into the next one. Let's have a look. Always practice well before, hey? You get it very much as I am. I'm afraid it's not perfect, but hey, that's part of the joy. Right, so if you, lighting's a bit tricky, isn't it, on this one? Maybe I'll bring it up upwards. So, oh yeah, that looks a little bit better. So if you just keep them the same way round, what you're going to do is, let me see, can you see I am keep them both the same way round as each other and pop that in, so it will start to link in. Now leave a little gap. Can you see I've left a little gap there and a little gap there? You want a little gap because that's the kind of the gap between each of the pieces, like on here. And then all you do is, you can see there's this little flap, is just to tuck it down into the other one. I tend to hold up the top of the spike there with those two together and tuck that over, tuck it in, and it's the same on the other side. So again, I'm taking this one and it's just gonna tuck down over the other one. To hold the other layer so it stays in place. So can you see we've started to create a little bit of a, and it's just got that little bit of manoeuvre between the two. It can push in and out, and that's what, if you've got enough of them, then it can start to move around. So I'm going to do just once more, which I hope again will help. So getting them the same way round. I'm having to think about this myself as well. That could be a little bit sharper, I'm saying. And check that you're happy with your pieces. Right. So each time keeping them the same way round. Same way round. Is that the same way round? You really are. Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah. So each time you've got the tack on this side and these little loose flaps. So again, I'm going to push it, pop it in between the two of the other flaps. And I'm pushing it in. And again, I'm leaving a little bit of a gap. Like so. And again, I'm going to take this and I'm going to tuck it into that gap. So again, holding there, and I'm tucking it back like so. And same on the other side. I'm holding those layers and again, oops, Wondering what I'm doing there. That's it. Oh, it's actually easier with the different colours because you can really see what you're doing. So again, I've got this little loose layer that I can then tuck over back there. And each time you're left with these two, which I'll take in the next one. So can you see it's beginning to form a little bit of a movable bit of your snake, but it's only a little bit. Yeah. I hope that helped. I hope you've enjoyed it. As you can see, I learn as I go along, but that's what it's all about. And if you keep going, if you do have different pieces of coloured paper, then you can make a really lovely long colourful one. And I just like to see it as my little rainbow. It just feels great. Just look at those lovely folds. It's a very tactile thing. And you can even hear the nice noises there. So I hope that's worked for you. I hope you can build up a really nice little snake of your own as well. Enjoy. Thank you.